That is a lot of damage to that fourth shot. We're looking for another one, but it's just Duro that gets the work done. First blood over to the Camille. Control in, certainly in the early levels, we'll have a lot of control in, but it's still Ambessa, right? As Chovy, not going to have a lot of control in this one. There's a taunt, though. Shadow Dash from Carrier as they pull Duro back. They look for Carrier again. And now Ruler needing to grab this kill to try and equalize. He'll find it as Pays runs out of buttons, and this Jhin is becoming a problem. Earlier than that.
Camille sneaking around here, by the way. Great pathing from Duro.
Yeah, he is going to look to make his way in as Doran. Probably going to have to flash this one. There is the sweep, and he's just dead. Doesn't even use the flash, just knows that he's going to go down a 2-1-1 Camille now in this game.
Well, and they kill Keen, who has no flash here. He has his ultimate.
Well, can be hard to outplay it, but with 3 people, it might work. There's a heroic entrance as Chovy's going to join in, and that will be enough to defend their top laner. It is going to be Grubs taken here by Ona. The Dragon just secured from Canyon, and GenG retained that slight gold advantage that was built by the bottom lane earlier on. Nothing has really changed too much. I think the stabilization has been commendable here by T1.
Oh, they're going to try again.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, see whether you can do it with the Camille there as well, as he does have the hook shot. Mega Inferno Bomb able to lock down the Ambessa, but it's 2 already on the floor. As Ona wanting to go back, they're trying to get this reset, but Pays taking so much damage from the tower, and Duro is massive on this Camille.
This ends up being a pretty big fail from T1. There was a...
Oh, they're collapsing.
Oh, there's in so much trouble.
There's a Galio coming as well. The little Ziggs does avoid the Sonic Wave, but he walks up. And so I think that will have sealed his fate. And it's going to be a safeguard over, wanting to deny Chovy an assist, so it's going to be a solo kill over to Canyon. He'll lock that one down.
A 1 for 3. Them bot lane.
Yeah, this is the new lane swap, I think. We've just got completely different mid laners and bot laners. Okay, Duro looking for a bit of an angle here, but we know that Carrier is waiting in that brush. He comes out. The double taunt is fantastic, but the public execution is also very good. Doran goes down. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but it's support for top lane. Ona flashing away. Canyon follows. He'll find the Tempest Cripple and the double kill as the teleport comes in from downtown as Faker swoops in. Down by himself, or maybe with a little bit of help from Chovy, who's going to rotate his way up. They have a lot of deep vision, though, and I think GenG will be able to very comfortably pick this one up for free.
And Keen feels like such a scary threat. They're still trying to 4-man top lane.
There are so many bad guys here as Doran goes in. Mega Inferno Bomb. They do manage to kill the Ambassador as Duro just has to get himself the heck out of there. Finally, mission complete. As Duro is likely to go down as well. It's a double for Faker as Chovy looking to trade this one. Ruler also getting some damage down in this mid lane. The cross map is pretty ridiculous here from GenG.
Yeah, GenG are going to be able to grab this first turret in return. Keen not able to ult in that fight, but almost bursts down the vein. Imagine if he gets that kill before dying and they get the turret.
To stand in the Spirit's Refuge. That's going to help him out against Ruler here as Duro now in a little bit of trouble. Faker moving over as the taunt set up just to try and get this Camille out as the Rift Herald down very, very low. Secured here by the Jhin as now Keen shows up and gets so much damage. Down goes Doran, the immediate revenge for the Ambessa. The curtains were called, and it is indeed curtains for T1 in that play as the Herald goes over to GenG as well.
Keen's ults this game have been so good. Teleports into 4. Oh, Baker and
Duro comes in, speaking of ults, as now Chovy turns up with a gigantic taunt, and down they all go. Even Duro surviving the Mega Inferno Bomb in the end.
It's nearly an ace, and they have a Herald on the turret.
And T1's composition, one that wants to control the pace, keep them at a healthy distance, is just struggling to do so. GenG, so crisp.
As well, in that fight is fantastic. So watch this here from Keen, TPing into the fight.
Right goes the wait for him.
And they know exactly how they want to play this. Goes into the backline here, sets up a huge ultimate here from Chovy as well. He gets backline access right away. Well, guess what's happening in the backline? Ruler following up. The composition is working like a well-oiled machine.
Micro movements are just textbook.
They finally got the turret, though.
There we go.
It only took 17 minutes of trying.
No,
hey, and because they got it late, they get the bounty.
That's big news.
I was expecting this Ziggs draft to be able to play out this stage of the game and really take control of structures, get control of areas, utilize the trundle with the pillar and all this sort of stuff. But
this game, GenG as well, would have been a Cloud Soul. I feel like there's so much value for their team. Not necessarily champions that sync up that well with the ult to get movement speed. Jin, for example, doesn't. Oh, Keen looking for an all-in.
Yeah, Canyon is going to come down here as he does have support from Carrier. He's going to be able to pick up that kill as Canyon now has to get out a teleport in from Faker as well.
That's valuable money, but this turret is so healthy. They're going to stick for it. They're going to look for more.
Yeah, Canyon is able to safeguard as the Condemn is coming down. As now Pays. He's on his satchel, but he's just going to get wiped out by Ruler. Finds the bullet, and he's able to take him out. Petrifying Gaze under 2. It's Faker. Makes the flash play. And now Canyon trying to get himself out. The heroic entrance is going to allow it, but now Chovy's in the firing line, and he is just
Here comes Duro.
His way down, and Duro, the hero of the hour, is looking to make his way in. Another Condemn coming on through as now GenG find the front foot, and the teleport from Keen, as this man has been addicted to revenge this game, and he's going to find even more as Faker goes down.
Ruler's opening the base.
Gets his man, and yeah, Ruler has never been with his team, to be honest. He's just killing turrets. Well, he does have Owner as support. And so Chovy not going to be quite as tanky as he otherwise would be, but I think they're just going to flash on it. They look for the angle onto Faker. Petrifying Gaze does connect, but Canyon still resonating strike comes in. Double knock-up as the heroic entrance comes down just as much for more CC as Keen is there for the cleanup. He is going to go down as he goes a little bit too deep. The Condemn was pretty good there from Doran, but a 2-for-1 and the turret going down. GenG still with their eyes on a potential Baron.
They're going in for this TP. T1 want to contest this, but they're so far behind. This needs to be flawless from them.
Yep. Teleport does come in. There's a deadly flourish onto Carrier as Canyon just gets on top of him and Chovy knocks him down. Now Owner's going to need a fantastic smite, but it's GenG that are looking for the team fight. As in goes Keen. He is going to give me Petrifying Gaze though, and now able to dash his way out. Still taken down by Owner, who is doing battle in the back line. Still going to be taken. He did buy a lot of time, but Pays is still dead. The Hextech ultimatum saved for this Ziggs, and now GenG pick up the ace.
D-lines immediately for the Cassiopeia.
And they're missing the critical Shen ultimate in this fight, and the pick to kill Carrier was through really basic abilities. No expensive cooldowns were used, so it's really easy for them to follow.
No
that
flash,
was
though.
Some aura farming, I guess.
Yeah.
Not necessary at all.
Oh, there is a taunt. It looks like Carrier's one is going to be working out okay, but the Winds of War do damage now. Riftmaker now done for Chovy. And even though there's a lot of support items, like the Siege minion is just sitting there, hitting.
He's just got hit by a bouncing grenade.
Oh, I think Canyon might be in a little bit of trouble here. Goes down to the G8, double knock up there from the heroic entrance as Chovy should be able to save the Lee Sin, but for how long, that's the question. Great interruption with the pillar, but it's not enough to save Carrier. And you guys were talking about it this whole time. Where's the damage?
And you know what's so sad? If they've gotten the GA earlier on Canyon, that would have been that whole kill there. But unfortunately, it's now just a 5v4 as GenG are pushing into the base. There's Duro.
Yeah, looking for the angle once again. Hextech ultimatum is going to be thrown down onto Owner, and he is going to be taken out. No subjugation going to work this time as Canyon looking to get on over here and take down this inhibitor as well. But the top inhibitor is also going to fall. The base of T1 just being turned into rubble here by GenG in game one.
And it almost felt like they wanted to just use Canyon as a Chovy ult point.
Yeah, right?
Just stand near them so I can get a good ult. And he's just been walking towards T1 and setting up these traps.
It is right now, and they're going to need so much of it.
I'm starting to wonder if it's in game 2, actually. It might be the time.
It would be great if we had it then too. If they wanted to win game 1 though, they're going to need a lot right now.
And let's see what happens with the siege on the bottom side as they're all grouped up right now. Baker a little bit extended.
Oh, public execution will be avoided here, but the Petrifying Gaze also does nothing. And Carrier, oh no, he didn't sign up for this. Well, actually he did. He pressed R on the Cassiopeia, and he's going to go down as well. That's going to really create some problems as GenG are running so quickly, and they are looking for this last inhibitor and probably some Nexus turrets afterwards.
This should just be the game if they just keep the push up here. Triple inhibitors is a death sentence, and GenG, the sidesteps they keep getting on these Petrifying Gazes have just been insane. The microwave from them.
Oh, Q gonna get picked up here as they get back onto Pays. Canyon finds it one more time. Keen's gonna go down though, and now Doran with that ulti running, looks for the angle, gets a double kill here as Ruler's gonna be taken out for the first time this game, and Canyon gets on top of him. Down goes Doran. again. It was some heroics in the end, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win them this game. But maybe they won't lose just yet. As Carrier, going down. Faker with a full health bar, looking pretty good. But Chovy looking to get on top of him. The taunt is not going to work. Petrifying Gaze onto just Chovy is not enough. And now it is just Owner against the world as GenG move in with their army of minions and look to take game one here.
I just don't think there's any time to muster a contest. Chovy's already backed in mid lane, and this should just be great secure.
The same order this time around, as we'd need a Mountain Soul for that, as now Canyon gets the ward down. Good Shuriken backflip is going to be there as the handshake comes through. And Duro trying to keep himself alive, but it's not quite working. Owner doesn't find the Vault Breaker, as Ruler still desperately trying to get out of here, but it's not going to work. Pays rips out the sticks, and down goes the Xayah. First blood to T1 this time. Owner is sticking with this dragon.
I think that's enough. That unsealed spellbook pick gets him the defense there, denies Canyon,
and Force is going to come on through alongside Keen, teleporting into the bot lane as GenG wanting to deny the soul point. Faker is going to be spotted here by Keen. Combat Herald down, and it's a lot of damage. Yeah, like you were saying, there is the Combat Herald as Canyon flashes out of the way, but he's still going to get knocked up. As Shelly getting a lot of work down. He sips the sap, but it's not going to work. Down goes the Kalista. The bailout is in for Pace. Gets the reset, but Keen is massive. Duro and Chovy on the other side of the fight. They're in a lot of trouble. And Owner is going to let his fist do the talking. Still Keen is in there, trying to take him down. And the egg, will it stay alive? The flash out from Chovy. He is able to keep himself up, and now Keen in a 1v1 with Faker. He finds another Morning Mist, and this Yorick is a behemoth.
Keen is just an absolute monster. I think the two biggest things for GenG that kept that fight even was his Yorick just running around, smashing skulls.
With a maiden!
Ruler's Blade Caller as well had so much impact. A fight that T1 definitely felt like they should be winning with the Combat Herald as well. But in the end, it's Keen who comes in strong. And we're going to get a refight for the Dragon.
Yeah, good handshake there from Carrier as Doran's looking to move his way back, but he hasn't been back to base yet. And these ghouls, man.
I think this is just GenG's Dragon. There's just no two ways about it.
As he's gone for that after the Rage Blade. Pretty good item on this patch at the moment. Is now Keen getting focused down by Owner. Cease and desist comes in. The Maiden getting involved as well. And Keen, I think, will be burning down. And there he goes on the cross map. Faker trying to keep himself alive. As the smite comes in, Twisted Advance is down. And Faker no chance of getting out of that one with Duro joining the party.
Oh, a turret is already for GenG. They are going to commit to that topside turret and trade, but T1 can match that and actually look for almost a second one here, as well as mid-side prio. So T1 getting a lot in this instance here on that initial pick. And yes, Faker.
T1 are the ones who end up getting the edge in this situation. That being said, Doran stays with the tower. Good job of just keeping this Akali accountable. And with Faker baiting his ult.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe an angle. Now just looking for this outer turret in mid lane. Ruler going to burn down the flash out. And the cease and desist not actually going to be pressed here as Chovy now potentially in trouble. Faker liking this matchup a lot more as there is the perfect execution and gets the egg. But he's in range of the turret and is not going to be able to take down Chovy on this Anivia just yet, but gets him ready for the next bout.
Ruler decides T1 cannot get there. A positional prio, we talked about it so many times. Ruler doesn't have flash, but it won't matter if they can never touch him.
This ward is pretty ridiculous though from T1 as Chovy going to get engaged on. He flashes out of the way. There's a Nature's Grasp as Owner separates himself. The hostile takeover, gigantic, but once again, Keen is going ballistic. Pays trying to dash around the fight and does Mega Cone his way out, and it's T1 that find every angle, and only Canyon
He uses Kalista as crazy. He's got QSS online from that fight. T1 really in control. We were worried maybe the sun was setting. His Q and his ult available. If he doesn't press R there, he probably just dies, and letting the turret go is the correct call. But now he has another safety tool lost, and T1 still have a whole minute of Baron here. They want this inhibitor.
Yep, they're going to take the Maiden as well, as Canyon looking for a little bit of a potential engage. Ghoulie wall and the actual wall. He's going to get the GA out of Owner and probably secure his life as well. Hostile takeover doesn't find the angle this time as Pace is behind the base gates. He is in so much danger. The bailout not going to work as Ruler stays just barely alive. Carrier going to fall, and T1's Baron will stop there.
What a beautiful play from GenG on the punish. Discussed so much about the compositions of those flashes are back up. Ruler's got his flash back up. Chovy's about to have his.
Oh, Faker looking for an angle towards Chovy as he does dash on in. There's a grand entrance, and Faker is just taken out. Ruler finds the feather, and the Akali falls. GenG now with a huge leg up here. 1 minute.
Gonna look for the fight.
It's going to be so hard to secure, so I think the fight afterwards is what they're going to have to look for, as the wall just prevents them from going anywhere near this. As Ona gets in there, he's able to actually get towards this streak. The equalizer, fantastic. It's Canyon that secures it. Ona goes down, as well as now Carrier in trouble. It is going to be Paze pulling out those sticks, grabbing that first kill, and GenG's health bars are going lower and lower. Faker finds Ruler as Paze is going to be taken down. Paze finally unleashed as he picks up the double, and Chovy trying to run away those Swifties, getting some work done, as once again will be able to put up that wall, but I think Faker might be able to find him, as Chovy not able to get the angle on the stun, and now needs to keep flapping to get himself out of the way of this one.
It's gonna get another Q though. It's got vision.
Chovy's TP is nearly up. Oh,
Hang on, wait, he's just buying so much time though.
Yeah, this is actually such a win for GenG. Even if he dies ultimately, he has his egg too.
Carrier has the CC, but he can TP in the egg. If Handshake's gone.
Yeah, there's the egg. And Doran just goes for the golden burn to take out the Anivia. 420 gold
But
over to him.
it hides away then, cleanses the stun from Chovy.
Paze and Faker dance through the fight together with the timing there of the stasis from Faker, allowing him to do the damage, then get out safely. The Paze follows up some damage, and then it's the execution from Faker in the final moment for that pressure into this bottom lane.
I think importantly, the Anivia's not here for the bottom lane, so they feel a lot freer. The Maokai going to come down though, and that will just force them off. They can clear out that wave.
That is still a decent amount of damage onto Ona. The equalizer comes in, and that's going to be a lot as well. Still, Duro going to be there to try and help keep his teammates' health bars safer. That is going to be successful for now. Ruler's health bar still full. And man, 6 Elemental Drakes so far. The next one, 1 minute 20. And finally, the Chemtech Soul will come in. The Rebel Baron power play sitting at 1,400. Not a whole lot has been gained since that Baron did go down. It's still a 4,000 gold lead. But as we crest towards the 40-minute mark, 4,000 gold doesn't really feel like it means all that much. Both of these 80 carries sitting on 5 items each. And GenG still in with a fighting chance. T1 going to have to keep it tight if they want to take this one. But the war of attrition being won by them for, so far.
And Inhibitor looking like it is starting to really take some big hits here from those cannon minions empowered by the Baron. And Doran is just empowering that here. GenG look like they will barely get the defense. No, they decide not to.
Yeah, a cannon will go down, so the inhibitor in the mid lane is going to fall.
But you're fine with that. Honestly, I think GenG okay with that mid lane inhibitor having the super
gold was the Rebel Baron power play in the end, so not a massive amount, but a teleport in from Keen. Looks like GenG do want to fight for this soul. Quadra Chemtech Soul is kind of crazy, as now Ruler might be in trouble. Does have the Featherstorm, but the Cease and Desist comes down. He finally gets that ulti through, as the flash out doesn't work, and the bottom lane are eviscerated. Canyon still trying to fight, gets the sticks ripped out of him though, and it's Faker that grabs the kill. A double for the Akali, and T1, they don't care about a dragon. They just want to kill all of GenG and win this game too, bringing us once again to a best of 3 for a ticket to MSI.
Keen does end up getting a kill onto Doran, and Chovy is buying time, but that mid inhibitor is open, and Paze is going to end this game. There's no way Chovy can get back, and I think we are going to a 1-1 series here.
Just escorting him, keeping him under lock so he can't get back to base. They'll push through with the super minions. He will eventually go down, and T1 will equalize the series.
A beautiful game from T1. There was a hiccup, a couple, maybe, but they held strong, and man, Paze on this Kalista. What an incredible performance and a huge turnaround, honestly, from everyone. 300.
Lost the cannon.
He's fine. And all right, there's a shock blast, and Faker, oh, it's in the air, and there's first blood for Chovy with a pyro blast.
View there of Faker, but we'll see when we go into the replay if we can.
I hope they don't do it to him, as Hepa Pulverize does come in from Carrier. Ruler once again finding a bit of an angle here with his rebuttal, but the unstoppable onslaught delivers Faker to the bot lane, and Ruler, he has to try and dodge it, therefore walking into the waiting.
And it was only the ghost there.
We are going to see it.
Yeah, but from Canyon's perspective,
Any moving 되나?
from Poppy as they realize they're in trouble, but Faker drives right between the tri-brush, and he's dead again.
That's surprising.
Zoned in the lane as a flank.
Ow. Question mark. As Ruler this time doesn't have the rebuttal, he's going to get snared. There's the heroic charge back, but Carrier running real fast with that Ghost, and Ruler has nothing he can do. He just dies.
You know, I think with the Mel, you're so good at playing into sort of longer range, but there's nothing you can do. I'm looking at this enemy composition as the Mel, and it's kind of nightmare fuel.
And so now Faker gonna have to try and keep himself alive. Channels another Q, and now Ona makes his way in. Canyon flashes. Dawning Shadow comes down, and there's the flash from Ona to follow, and down goes the Jace. Ona here to save the play, and now Carrier will find the flash from Chovy as well.
This Triforce spike on the Wukong, you can see after the initial flash, they weren't sure if they wanted to extend the play, but Ona's like, no, I have the damage, follow me. And he absolutely did to take out the Jace and Chovy. Having a flash as well, punishing there.
Is not what you want to be doing. Spade's coming on over, just grabbing as many souls as he can. Feeling good about that. As Doran looking to gank and Olaf. Let's see whether they can get the Ragnarok at least. As Mountain is going to get pushed back. It is going to be a Mountain Soul. Oh my god, if T1, if T1 get control of this game again and stack 4 Mountains, it's unplayable for GenG. Absolutely. As now Doran taking so much damage. Dawning Shadow is going to at least soften up Chovy a little bit, as the exhaust was used just to get rid of him. And now Pays throws the Rift Herald towards this outer turret in the mid lane. Ruler not with enough wave clear to clear this one out quickly enough. As first turret is going to be the race here as Ona finds Canyon. Canyon does get the Hammer Boot back and does have himself a Blast Cone in order to escape. But that is going to be first turret going over to GenG and extending that gold lead.
Yeah, should see Pays answer here in the mid lane. And Ona with a lot of pressure. He has to be careful of Chovy over the wall.
Yeah. Oh, low 4 health! And Ona is able to just turn around and say thanks for the red buff.
Objectives. GenG have prio now. Faker's going to TP over and try to wrestle some of that away.
Yeah, Kane makes his way in there as well as Faker turns up. Avoiding a fair bit of this poke right now as Duro going to get snared. Doesn't snare the rest of his teammates though, as Doran is on a flank angle and he is so scary if he can get into this backline. Shock Blast goes wide, actually could be a big deal as there is the flash in from Carrier, but he's a little bit disconnected from the rest of the team. They're chasing Chovy out of there. The Undertow's thrown the other way, but the flash to follow from Doran. In the meantime, the rest of the fight, GenG trying to pull it back, and the flash forward from Keen gets the kill onto the cow, and Chovy somehow playing a weird game of tennis where the dragon is the net. What the heck was going on there? As the snare not going to connect onto Faker, who looks to get himself out. These health bars are so low. How is this just a 1-for-1? T1 get control of the Drake and just leave it there.
Goes so well for T1 because
things get a little bit different as GenG again have this prio now.
Well, into the pit goes Doran, but he immediately gets pulled back, taking so much damage. Dawning Shadow keeping him alive, but he will be taken out. They traded for Ruler, but there's still a lot of damage left here for GenG. The Grim Deliverance from Keen. Carrier right in amongst it, but he's going to be taken out. And now it's Ona that's in there doing battle. Finds the Poppy, but that's just the support. And that is going to be the Drake going over to GenG, keeping their hold. I don't know whether T1 will have enough time to get this center scaled up, you know, to have that advantage. As the unstoppable onslaught here from Faker is optimistic, as Chovy does have those Swifties. The rest of T1 looking for an angle, but Ona's approach is going to get denied, and I think Faker is just gonna go down. Chovy comes on over, does have a Q, but it's Canyon that grabs the kill. The rest of T1, Doran is at least able to take this turret in the bottom lane, but he's got a teleport in hand.
Baron's up, and without half of the front line, I think they just focus him down again. If he decides to show up, he is going to come here a little bit late. GenG playing this slow. Duro on the flank.
Yeah, keep his verdict going to be a big deal, but it's on cooldown.
And again, he's looking for it.
Yeah, flash not quite available just yet. Ryze is going to stop that one. Carrier in so much trouble. GenG looking for the turn. A better Baron play than their last one, we have to admit.
Oh, Doran gets caught here.
With the wraparound. And Chovy is going to be able to find him with that stun. He has to throw down the Ragnarok, but using it defensively. He doesn't get a lot of time. And Keen wants that angle. Ona is going to find him. And it looks like Keen is going to get dissuaded, and the Baron will be foregone for now.
I think so long ago in the game is going to be a big responsibility for Doran to maybe be a frontline so that Pays can actually go with him in terms of target select. They're just going to focus the Dragon now. They've done enough work here. Carrier getting low.
Yeah, GenG gonna try and hold on to this one. Remember, this is Mountain Soul, T1. They cannot give this one up, but Faker makes his way back. The rest of his teammates looking a little worse for wear though, and FaZe just needs to hammer that Q button over and over again.
But again, only hitting Keen, and no one else cares, and these shot
the flash forward from Keen, but he misses. Doesn't get on top of FaZe, who gets his exhaust off. And now Carrier gets into that backline. Chovy able to avoid FaZe. Grim Deliverance is denied. And now the Dragon should belong to T1. A double. Doran as he gets into the backline, but it's Ruler that locks that one down. Owner should be able to secure this Dragon, but that is going to be the snipe from Canyon to try and even out this trade. And it will not be even in the end. T1 deny the soul and win the fight.
Faker once more here. They are going to try to collapse.
And Faker's health bar looking a whole lot better now, as Ruler is going to be able to snare him. The flash forward, and Ruler will get that speed up from the W.
This was such a chaotic fight, I've got to say.
Based on the movement of GenG, and the keeper's verdict is not going to come
He just
on
wants
through,
to
but
make
that is
sure
just
Owner doesn't stop.
He just don't get
It's
hit.
on this very deep flank, and is now trying to find an angle. Oh, TP coming in, they're going for a play.
Yeah, Keen actually cancels his back there as well, as Carrier is going to find him. Faker looking for an angle here. Let's see whether Keen can actually buy enough time, because Doran and Owner are both running up.
This is a
Pass is going to follow as, yeah, Keen does have the ulti. He's doing a lot of work and has charged up the passive. It's going to take a long time as now Canyon gets on in here. There is the chase as they look to get on top of Doran, the Dawning Shadow, to keep him alive as it's both of them going down. In the meantime, though, Pace just dead to Chovy. The bear burns him down, and Chovy throws a Q into a decoy, but eventually finds the right Wukong, and Faker might be able to push Chovy away, but the damage, it has been done, and GenG will wipe them off the map.
This felt like a winning play for T1, but then FaZe gets exploded by Chovy, and suddenly, without that damage, without that DPS, faced it really well.
Flashed on his face, and he was just dead.
But I think in FaZe's mind, he's like, I don't die here, I have cleanse flash. He was pretty late with the cleanse.
Yeah. Either way, an impressive play from GenG, and now full well, you've got Ruler now trying to push this one in, unless he finds a beautiful angle to avoid a 5-5.
They're looking for him. They don't know where he is. They're like, where is this Olaf? Okay. I want to see him. I need to know where he is. It's behind them.
Just TPing for the shield right now. Oh, it doesn't actually have it.
Oh, he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
As, all right, Keen could be in a little bit of trouble. Grim Deliverance is available, so he will be able to keep that one alive as the Pulverize comes in. T1 looking for the angle is Keen. He gets the Grim Deliverance. He manages to keep himself alive, but everyone is going down lower, and there is another snare, so Keen is dead. In trade for Owner, the flash out from Duro might be able to keep him alive as Faker just being that front line, and T1 now have control of the Drake.
But with no jungler, this could be...
It probably would have been the end of the game. I think, in almost every situation, but the fact that he's not there means that we get another free fight here.
There he is now.
Yeah, he turns around, but he's spotted so incredibly quickly. Chovy looks for the angle. The health power of this Olaf is going down, but it's not going to fall! And Chovy dies! T1 fine, 2. Ruler is still alive, still has some damage, but Canyon will hit the deck, and that is 3 on the floor. T1 able to march up this bottom lane if they want to.
That's the late game Olaf comeback. You were talking about Atlas in the draft before we even got in the game. We've seen Doran do this before. In our minds, we're wondering about the simulation of what would happen if he was in that back line. And then we saw it before our very eyes. Ruler, the last to fall here, and I think T1 have pulled themselves to match point.
They've managed to do it once again. Doran on the late game, Olaf comes in clutch, and this was not an easy game. This hasn't been an easy series, but T1 are looking to go to match point. Keen trying to defend.
Yeah, trying to kill the minion wave at least, but it's going to be very difficult. Doesn't get that passive, and Duro now with the keeper's verdict. Can he get rid of them? The answer is no. Now, he hits a few minions away, but that is about it.
Not enough.
And there are 7 seconds on Chovy, and I don't think that's going to mean anything at all. T1, 1 game away from Daejon. As out of the fountain goes Chovy, and back again he goes immediately as T1 will walk off the stage after drafting a very...
J'ai hâte de voir, c'est quoi le match-up top?
GP... Je pense que GP il explose Gnar, hein, vraiment.
Okay. Terminer ce PO, est-ce qu'on va... La Canyon il peut faire du gras. Hein. Ce qui dit le caster, c'est qu'en gros là ils ont trop de pression en early game. En soi ils ont 3 winning lanes. Hein.
Ouais. Franchement, ouais.
Ils ont 3 winning lane et tu joues Xin dans un Nocturne. Le Nocturne est très fort en duel. Là, tu peux aller chercher de l'invade, tu peux aller chercher un petit massacre en early game. Seulement de voir ce match up top, ça récupère de la vision, ça va en poser.
Alright, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the rift for T1's match point. GenG, they can take us to silver scrapes with a victory here. T1, they could just punch their ticket to Daejeon right now.
Ils gagnent dans Harry. Je sais pas, je pense qu'Harry, ça a gagné.
Our first seed from regular season would be the first one going, and then our second from the regular season will also be. But Keen is obviously able to teleport back in whenever he would like to. Meganar is going to be hit here by Doran.
Et rouleur il a dash in. Attention, si tu perds avec S Karma, c'est la game. Hein. C'est la game. C'est que pour moi, cette bot lane me débecte, frère S Karma.
Bon, là, c'est fini. Hein.
Cool, ce Drake. Hein. Il va passer 6 après le raid Honor. Et 6. Et il va y aller direct sur ce Xinzao. C'est la game.
Aïe 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 aïe, c'est game.
Je sais pas pourquoi il fait le Drake au hasard comme ça, Canyon.
En full shield, ils sont. Ils ont give up.
Ils sont tilt, ouais. Depuis la game Maoka, ils sont tilt.
En plus, le kill est sur Paze.
Celui qui a call ce baron Nashor, il a tué le BO.
Ouais, le BO de Nashor tout à l'heure, c'était trop. Et là, du coup, tu perds le Drake, tu meurs. Ça coûte très cher cette erreur là.
Oh.
Le Dashin, attention, il met les ranges, il va mourir.
Ah, il peut mourir le Doran.
Avec le passif là. Il veut proc le
La shot pour
méga.
méga.
Il n'y a pas la bruit.
Magnifique.
Comment ça, magnifique.
Je sais bien qu'il y avait Anguille sous rush.
Oh. Non, c'est le go, tu vas pas mourir, frérot.
C'est chewing up, je pense.
Ah non, il a pas le chewing-gum. Ah non,
Ouais, ouais.
il a pas le rythme.
Ok, il y a Lissandra aussi qui arrive. Attention, ça peut être dur, mais ça va, c'est one shot. Non. Oh, ça peut être dur en fait.
Oh, 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 oh.
Et voilà.
Voilà, Keen. Va même faire son goal. Oh, c'est comeback. C'est comeback.
Et voilà. Ne jamais jouer sur cette merde.
Il est trop heureux, oui, j'ai
Il est trop heureux, frère, il est trop heureux. Alors, son équipe. Zongo, t'es pour eux, je te rappelle. T'es pour eux, Zongo.
Mais tu sais qu'ils ont rien à faire dans la game. Hein.
Y'a pas d'épine pour savoir ce qui capte.
C'est la POV de kill.
D'être heureux, regardez comme il va sourire. Il sourit pas du tout, frère, il est tellement focus. Tellement focus, pas d'émotion en full tryhard, c'est magnifique.
Ouais.
Mais tu sais, les gens ils prennent le truc brûlure là, je crois.
Bah ouais, c'est ça.
C'est trop fort. Point, je sais pas, ouais, c'est vrai que je suis pas fan de la pointe là, t'as raison.
3 kills sur rouleur, sur Pace, pardon.
C'est tellement tout droit pour lui. Hein.
Non, mais dans la solo win celle-là. C'est un peu trop.
La Pace, il faut qu'il. Ah, il a encore Dashin, hein. Oh là là là. Dashin rouleur. Hein. Keen sur Faker. Turn, il n'y a pas d'ulti.
Ouais, il aurait pu le courir dessus, je pense quand même.
He is not the target that you want to hit with a frozen tomb. Let's just
posturing just to make sure GenG did group up, so Paze does get access to the tower. If you just don't send anyone
Plate pour Paze. Herald. Prends-le, frérot, prends l'Herald.
Nocturne.
Ah, c'est Nocturne.
Il veut pas le prendre. Oula, attention à ce GP. Double flash. Il y a le méga qui arrive, hein. Il peut faire une dinguerie. Et il fait la dinguerie.
Oh, le méga. Le méga.
Il s'est fait charme, ça a buffer.
Attends,
Utilise Sandra. Oh, il a pas pu envoyer le Q-spell. Faker il doit flash out.
C'est terrible pour T1.
Oh là là, Paze.
Oh, Paze, Paze.
Oh,
le charme, le charme. Le charme.
Le charme.
Chovy. Paze.
Lulu Yunara, trop broken.
Nora Lulu, GG.
Ah, la kill.
Je l'avais call que la botlane allait DV8. Je l'avais call.
Rien call du tout, frérot, là.
Pourquoi tu vas la tuer cette Yunara?
Là, le charme a touché, mais il manquait un peu de
Il y
dégâts.
aura un Michael, hein.
Ah, c'est ça en plus. Même ça marchera plus tard.
Ah, il a pris le charme, là, il manquait un peu de dégâts.
Parce qu'il y a le polymorphe au même timing. Une nuit blanche, c'est pire qu'une nuit blanche là. Pour le cast, j'ai fait une sieste de 2h30. Et après j'ai regardé tout.
Les gars, écoutez ma take. Kin il est niveau 13, il a
attention.
les barils. Voilà, on en parlait.
Oh,
On parlait directement baril niveau 13, pas de flash sur pace. Un kill.
Ils ont pris un.
Faker qui va tomber à la réception
Doran,
normalement.
Méga, il peut pas suivre.
J'allais dire, j'ai ma take, le GP niveau 13, ça comeback. Eh ben voilà, frérot. J'avoue, le baril qu'il a mis il est pas mal. Mais bon, après, il était mal placé, Paze. Mal placé, pas de flash, il peut pas s'avancer comme ça.
Ah, il a trop l'avance autant.
C'est de la haute trahison là. Ça.
Après, c'est quand même even no goal, tu vois.
Doran, il était mal placé aussi.
Il va avoir un gros shutdown en plus, non? Il avait combien?
C'est pas. Allez, Chovy qui se met devant. Oh, le charme. Oh, flash in ulti de Keria. Magnifique avec le polymorphe. Keria,
c'est trop la rue.
C'est trop, c'est la seule Lulu qui fait ça, frère. Il flash in avec Keria, avec Lulu, quoi. Il engage avec Lulu, frérot.
Le coach.
Attention, Faker, temporisation, il va sur one shot, l'ulti, le méga, double flash out. Ah, c'est dur quand même pour T1, hein. Pace, la engage, Oh, les dégâts, le baril. Oh, la dash de rouleur.
Le baril.
Et GenG qui le réalise.
Le baril. Aïe.
Oh là là, le GP et les barils, plus le rouleur qui bombarde. C'est beau. Kamel, t'as vu le fight?
Ouais, bien sûr. Faker, il a fait de la merde.
Rouleur s'est réveillé en plus, hein. Faut le dire. Oh, Douro, qu'est-ce que tu fais?
Petite offrande.
Après, ils prennent sur ça, quoi. Ils tampent le baron. C'est bien, ouais, tampent le baron. Mais bon.
He's the one who needs to be there setting a vision, so it does mean T1 can just push in and contest any of this vision in the dragon area.
All right, 34 seconds.
80 carries with here as the dragon starts to spawn. Faker will match it after buying as he finishes his back right now.
On est plus que deux, mon frère Zango.
On the cards here for GenG. True shot barrage going to be avoided by Doran.
Fais castaille sa mère.
As Kane.
Area is so important here is wild growth, how he chooses to use it. Does he
honestly one barrel can be the end as Hayes goes in. There's a paranoia as well. Cannon barrage goes down, but not a lot of value coming from that one.
OMG, Paze.
Still able to get a lot of damage from the
Fallait pas SVP.
And T1, can they get back in? Win becomes line.
Je t'ai dit, j'attendais l'ulti nocturne. Alors là, j'attendais l'ulti nocturne tout à l'heure. T'es concentré sur l'ulti nocturne, frère.
Je pensais que tu dormais, on parlait de ça.
Je dormais, j'attendais juste l'ulti nocturne, frérot. C'est mon réveil.
Ah, c'est toi, réveil. Ok.
Logdar, il va flasher, là, je le sens.
Logdar, flash in. Il est seul.
Trop prévisible.
Paze, il faisait le tour. Paze, il fait le tour.
Pourquoi Paze, il flanque?
Paze, il fait tout le tour, frère. Il fait quoi, Paze? Aïe, la soul. La soul pour GenG.
Bizarre.
T1 qui trahit.
Doran!
Ah ouais, ils se sont tellement mal compris. Il y a Doran qui flash in et Paze, il fait le
Ah
tour.
non, il a raison, Zongo. Il sa grand-mère, frère. C'est pas sérieux, voilà. Je vais m'évanouir.
Avec le Solé, ça part en game 5.
Ah, mais t'as raison, frérot. Voilà, je vais m'évanouir. Il fait des trucs comme ça.
Merci.
Ah, désolé, frérot. Je m'excuse. Ça pue ça, les gars, c'est fake la solo séance, ça sert à rien. C'est bien quand t'es comme Popo.
Après, j'avoue que la soul, elle est pas si value que ça. Elle est bien, mais elle est pas si value que ça dans cette game. Poil.
Après, vu la durée des teamfights, je sais pas si la solo océan va changer quelque chose.
Ouais, regarde.
Un petit peu, tu vois, mais ça va.
Cette Tionara, elle fait trop mal. Mais elle va pas pouvoir taper éternellement.
C'est pas fini, hein. Encore un gros fight de Yunara, ça peut retourner,
Non,
mais
non, c'est pas
faut le
fini.
faire le beau.
C'est tellement fini. Il troll, il a pas d'ulti. Il a pas d'ulti.
Il troll.
Il troll, Faker. Ah, il a pas.
Non, il s'est fait faire master, je crois.
se fait charme. C'est fini, je crois. C'est fini là? Non, y'a pas la wave mid. C'est pas fini. Ça dépend si le rouleur il arrive à POC.
The poke damage from GenG just kind of ridiculous.
They're trying to end this game right now with the whittling down of these turrets.
Ah, Faker, sa game elle est bizarre aussi, les gars, il faut le dire. Voilà.
They just can't clear them.
Oh! Flash instantané, pace qui turn, il y a le Zonia. Ah, il a pas d'acheté, c'est GG. Ah, roller il fait trop mal, c'est GG. Hein. GG.
Ok, il revient. Le Chixin qui est revenu.
Ah, si. GG, game 5.
Putain.
Game 5, je mets mon réveil.
Oh là là, frérot. Ça a été sûr, hein.
Non, mais c'est vrai que Faker, c'est pas trop ça cette game. Mais je te jure, il s'est fait troll par Doran.
C'est que le Drake, hein, je sais pas qui dans le vocal là, mais ils ont vraiment pas connecté. Hein. T'as l'un qui flash in, l'autre il fait le tour.
C'est vrai qu'ils étaient full shield, GenG, fallait les achever. Tu sais pourquoi ils ont été motivés? C'est
Ouais.
le dive top, frérot, c'est le dive top.
Dive top. Non, je suis d'accord avec toi, hein. Je pense que le dive top ça les a atteints quand même. Ils sont pas devant toute la game, c'est
Je crois que c'est T1 qui va nous rejoindre. Vas-y, lancer la game, c'est pire.
T1 have the multi-threat scaling draft and GenG were like
Là on va juste pas jouer les lanes top et bot. On va jouer tranquillou. Ça va scale pour T1 et ça va GenG créer le rythme avec la Nida, on va voir. Hein.
C'est quoi déjà? C'est Gragasop, il est pas trop diveable. De toute façon, il fallait prendre un truc qui se fait pas trop dive parce que c'est Renekton Nidalee. Renekton
mais tu sais
c'est
qu'il peut jouer. Dans Renek, tu peux même jouer agressif avec Gragas. Hein. Tu peux vraiment le outplay de fou. Hein. C'est vraiment tranquille comme match-up. C'est un des rares match-up où vraiment tu peux full abuse des l'early quoi.
Ah, je savais pas ça.
Ouais, Gragas, mais en fait tu peux vraiment le space en gros sur ses sorts et tout.
Après, le truc c'est qu'il a pris Renek pour la Nidalee.
Ouais.
Il tamoune sur Nidalee.
Yep, and it was Renekton Nidalee by Noguri and Canyon that was really the most devastating. Let's get into it. Game number 5.
Putain, le Qatar suisse, j'ai l'impression que c'était il y a un mois, les gars.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Desperately, our MSI defending champions are trying to get themselves a ticket while our
Qui va nous rejoindre.
champions are looking to deny it.
Ah, il a pris la poigne ce monstre, il a tout compris Doran. C'est bien, c'est bien.
Ça va invade top side, ça peut gank au mid. Goldcard, il est mort.
Flash Goldcard, il meurt.
Il a failli avoir le temps de dodge. Hein.
Il fait perdre du temps quand même. Hein. S'il arrive à tempo là.
Il exécute là.
Vous pouvez pas flash jump?
Il a pas de TP le Ryze, il
Je
perd
crois
beaucoup de temps.
Je crois qu'il doit flash direct, Chovy, je suis pas sûr. Le problème c'est qu'il a pas de ghost. Question de rythme, c'est je regarde la Coupe du Monde. J'ai regardé la finale NBA. J'ai regardé la Coupe du Monde. Le perdant il est pas qualifié au MSI. Ok, l'ulti comme ça d'entrée, il y a un ulti Ryze, il y a un ulti TF.
El Gragas, hein. Il a sur le flash.
Mais il est parti bot, Chovy. Il est parti bot, il est mort Canyon. C'est la game. C'est fait trahir.
Et voilà.
First Blood Ryze. Mais il a trahi, frère.
You see how as soon as Owner sees Canyon there, he's like, we can make this play, Faker's gonna back me up, he ults immediately, and although the chase is extended, a big reason for that is Q on that face on, and so as a result, getting very tanky, very quickly.
Bit of a party cast there from Doran, but great sidestep from Kane.
Aïe, du coup il a pas d'ulti.
On
peut le tuer.
It's Doran going to hit the deck, and that is going to be
Putain, j'ai curse.
Normalement ça devrait être ça toute la game. Même si c'est Gragas en face.
Instantly,
Zorgo 100% il doit retrouver la reine.
Regardez pas l'écran.
T'as été sûr, en fait.
Aïe,
T'as
aïe,
pas vu ce qu'il
aïe,
a fait Doran. T'as pas vu ce qu'il a fait Doran, frérot.
Non, j'ai pas vu, j'ai pas vu.
Attends,
Putain, j'ai raté une dinguerie.
T'as raté une dinguerie. Bien sûr que t'as raté une dinguerie.
Dégoûté.
Il a fait quoi?
Bien sûr que t'as raté. Keria aussi, hein. Keria aussi, il a fait une domingo à l'instant. Hein. Il y a deux dingueries là.
Il a fait
En
quoi,
une minute,
Doran?
deux dingueries.
La Faker, c'était un homme, qualifie-toi au MSI et viens juste, frérot.
Owner is not going to be able to lock it down. The crash down is going to be working here as decent little sidesteps from Canyon, actually buying enough space. Trying to push T1 back.
J'ai dit quoi là?
Moves over towards his Rift Herald. That is going to ultimately be the target.
Non, ça, j'ai dit quoi ça?
Frérot, j'ai l'impression que t'es connecté à deux mondes en même temps.
Ok, c'est parti le team fight. Ouais, l'ulti est ok, l'ulti est ok, l'ulti est ok. Il faut un reset sur la Naafiri. Duro il va le donner. Le reset est là, le reset est là. Il peut go sur Canyon. Canyon va mourir. Oh, nice flash. Il a le deuxième kill, la gold card.
Honneur.
Non, il a raté le Q, il a raté le Q, Faker.
Ah, Kin, il encule le fight. Oh, le travail de Kin dans le fight.
C'est-à-dire les amis, mais encore une fois, top gap. Ce qui est moche déjà, ça paye pas. Hein.
C'est ce qu'on a vu.
Tout ça là.
Je suis d'accord avec toi.
Il faut un Ziggs, frère. Oh, aïe, 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 aïe.
Canyon se fait attraper. Ok, reset.
Chovy.
Honneur.
Il est mort, il est mort, il est mort, il est mort. Il est mort, il est mort.
Doran le flash.
La flash. Après, le truc, c'est qu'il a claqué son W en pré-shot pour. Enfin, pas en pré-shot, mais en. Avant pour maximiser le DPS, parce que ça donne beaucoup d'AD. Et ça donne des loups en plus. Mais du coup, il avait pas le W pour la gold card.
Kin. Il l'arrache, hein. Red buff, hein. Flash out, flash in. Ah. Putain, avec Kin, hein.
Faire Ghost Flash, même sur Ryze, il est devenu nul ou quoi? Allez, honneur, troll pas, frère.
C'est teamfight, frérot.
C'est la fight de la game, les gars.
Keria.
Couleur. Doran dessus. Kin, personne peut le tuer là. Faker.
Encore le GOAT debout, le GOAT est là encore. Il y a un truc à faire.
3 Drake pour T1.
Je crois que Doran a un seul win.
Doran a fait un très gros fight. Encore Duro. Aïe, qu'est-ce qu'il fait Chovy? Ah, il a troll là. C'est la furie, frérot. Oh, attends, il y a Kin.
Le GOAT,
Ah,
le GOAT.
Il est mort, Kin aussi. Hein.
Le GOAT.
Ouais, bon.
Le GOAT.
Oh,
Le GOAT.
Oh là là. Mais qu'est-ce qu'il a foutu Chovy là?
Ah, je sais pas ce qu'il a fait, gros.
C'est chauffé là. C'est que Doran, gros fight. Hein. Premier degré, il a bien joué sur la MF. Hein.
GenG, frère, gros fight, Doran.
Il a
Ah,
chuté
gros
son
fight.
bobby,
J'ai regardé que lui.
Ah bah regarde, en soi, c'est ce qu'il faut faire quoi.
Je te jure que GOAT, hein, je l'avais dit ça.
Est-ce qu'ils vont retroll ou pas comme tout à l'heure?
Doran qui zone bien là, Doran. Il
Ouais,
a son
3
R.
items Ryze.
Troll pas le R, Doran, troll pas le R.
Il la troll, je crois, non?
Il a troll le R.
Ils sont trop loin.
Ouais,
Je suis
il gagne quand même le fight.
cancel.
Il gagne quand même.
Il y va. Roller et one shot. Naafiri, le meilleur champion du jeu. Naafiri, le meilleur
C'est
champion
tellement
du
fort
jeu.
Naafiri, mon dieu ce qu'il fait.
Naafiri, le meilleur
Oh
champion
là
du jeu.
là 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 là.
Oh là là, la jungle gap cette
Oh
game.
là 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 là.
Ah, c'est jungle gap cette game, il faut le dire. Honneur
GG's.
là. Honneur, hein. Respect, hein. Quel game de honneur. Hein.
T1 ou MSI. Mais t'as raison, frérot, t'as raison.
Il a pas de flash. Il a juste à garder son R pour la MF, il peut pas troll là. C'est bien. C'est honneur quand même. Hein.
All right, let's see whether GenG has a last-ditch effort in them.
Zongo, les gars, il s'en bat les couilles. En vrai, il aime bien T1, mais vas-y, si T1 il se qualifie pas, il s'en bat les couilles. Il va lancer ses 5 games Kennen, aller faire ses batailles secteur 5. Ça va rien changer à sa vie. Mais il s'est réveillé à 8h juste pour hate Doran, et ça, moi, je respecte ça, les gars.
Doran, Dashin.
Franchement, oui.
Et
Très
bien,
bizarre le Dashin
il est
Doran.
en train de la
Flash out.
solo lose. Oh, Keria.
Keria, frérot. Kin pendant ce temps. Attends, il a été envoyé dans le tas, Kin là. Ah, ça suffira pas. Pas de dégâts. Pas de dégâts. Honneur. Il meurt, non, sous TZ? Non, il meurt pas.
Pas plus.
Et c'est GG, les gars.
C'est GG.
They're going to take another inhibitor and maybe even look to take the game. They're going to TP Doran back in. They're going for the end.
Going to end. I don't think there's any way. There's no magnets on. There's no bullet time. There's no answer to this push.
Well, let's see. Ruler is still up and available, but Doran is trying to stop that from being a reality. Duro goes down, and the Nexus turrets are following suit. They're looking for pace. The spell shield is gorgeous, and Chovy is like...
Il a pas de dégâts rouleurs, je crois.
Eh,
GG, les gars.
Malgré que le Nexus soit cassé, il est toujours en retard au gun, mais bon.
Ça serait T1. KC T1.
GG.
Leur Kamel, mais moi, je voulais que T1 gagne.
Ah, pareil, hein, je pense que c'est...
Ah ouais, c'est ce que j'ai dit dès le
Ah,
début
c'est
du
BF
BO.
de fou.
Je pense que c'est bien mieux, je pense.
Ouais. Kamel qui va cut instant. Exactement, frérot, bonne nuit. Il nous manque une seule team dans les play-ins du MSI. Et ça sera ce soir en LCS. Ça sera ce soir en LCS. Là, on sait quasiment tout, là. Ce sera Lyon ou Team Liquid.
Apparemment, Lyon, c'est pas mal, apparemment. Ça joue
Ouais, Lyon, c'est la meilleure équipe ENA, je pense.
Ok.
Ouais, qui peut faire le plus mal à l'Inter.
Franchement, la coupe, bon.
C'est pas une coupe, frérot, c'est un ticket. BO combien c'est que des BO5 au MSI, que des BO5, que des BO5. Mais on les jouera pas premier match. On les jouera pas premier match. On remonte l'arbre.
And I think realistically, regardless